Welcome back, everybody, and the god, Peter Sonic, has returned. So I can't even believe I have to do a video on this, but I guess today there's a bunch of people sending me a link um, about this show known as The Blaze, and I guess The Blaze is this massive, uh, not really massive, but just a show that people watch. So one of the hosts known as Tomi Lahren, and that is a girl, not a boy. Just if you don't know the name Tommy, uh, she was talking about, I guess, Jesse Williams' speech about how police brutality against minorities has kind of gotten out of control. While you might want to argue that, I'm not one to say that all cops are racist, because that's just not true. I'm not gonna lie to you though, there's a lot of them who are. And if you dispute that, you're either just don't want to believe it, or you just have something against somebody who says, I don't know. Yeah, I know police brutality has happened. I'm not. You can't be ignorant to that fact. If you are, then you are. You can't be like, well, maybe that person had it coming. Yeah, because every person that's getting attacked by the police, whether white, black, Mexican, doesn't matter, just always has it coming. Like, the police never do anything wrong to get money, right? We have just the perfect law system. Anyway, um, but she was like, how dare you criticize the police? How dare you do this? How dare you do that? And like, all of our ancestors, the white people fought for black people to be out of slavery and stuff. Number one, I can blow apart that whole argument in like 2 seconds, because you want to know the ironic thing about that? This is quite ironic, but it was white people who had black people in slavery to begin with, right? You do know that. So that's the number one thing I can blow apart your whole argument with, as if you're saying, and Jesse Williams wasn't just targeting, um, just, black. He was, more saying that, yes, you hear it more about a black guy being under attack by the police than you ever would a white guy or a Mexican guy. But he was saying just against minorities in general, and that's true. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen against white people, because I know white people experience racism. And while some of you folks may think that's deserved because, white people always are racist back, they're racist first, so why can't you? I say that's not. You can't just go pick on some random person, though. Then, if you feel like the person deserves it, then go do it to the person who actually deserves it, not just some random guy who did nothing wrong. Odds are that guy was probably giving money to charity and stuff. But that's not to say that all white people are good. No, that's not to say all of anything is good, because that's not true. It just never will be true. Neither is all of anything bad. There's no race that is perfect, and there's no race that is truly for destruction. That's what you'd hear out of a cartoon character saying that race of people is ready for destruction and mayhem. Like, but yeah, there can be people out of that race that are ready for destruction and mayhem, but just not all. You know, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't know that we, as the United States, kick out like the good Muslims and stuff. Like, there's a lot of Muslim religions, right? There's a lot of Muslim religions. Jesus Christ, can't say it. And most of those religions either have ISIS or jihadists, which is Al Qaeda and all those guys. Um, and that's not true though. There are other. That's not all there is in the Middle East. There's many other religions, and that's why you don't hear all the. Not and it's kind of funny how people just say what happened in Orlando proves that all Muslims are bad. See, then I can use that argument to say that a lot of white people are bad. Why do I say that? Because then the problem with saying just because one race of one person did a mass shooting, let's think about all the mass shootings that have happened in the United States, and most of them have been white people who did it. Ah, your argument does not seem so awesome now, does it? It's funny, because then I can say black people are bad, because let's think of a lot of, like, prisoners. Ah, see, your argument isn't as awesome now, is it? You know what I mean? You can't have a race of people judged by a crime that they committed, because then I can do that to everybody. Like, I better be telling all white people not to buy any more guns, because I'm afraid they're going to go shoot at my school. Like, I'm sorry, but, a lot of white people shoot up schools. It's a thing. It may not be you, but I have to make sure you can't. You see, that's why I say race-based arguments are the stupidest, because you can apply that to everybody then, always. And just because, never be that type of person who goes, well, if a white guy bombs something, then it's not a terrorist act. Yes, it is. When you are trying to commit an act of terrorism, you don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be anybody. You can just do it. And the thing is, people go like, Barack Obama, why don't you attack ISIS more? Guys, what you don't understand is we were attacking the Middle East before ISIS and Al Qaeda and all these guys even showed up. Actually, we're the reason they happened. Like a lot of people ignore that part. George W. Bush, that stupid motherfucker, I'll hate him forever. He's the reason all that happened. After he did all the stuff that he did, they toppled Saddam Hussein, but then put in an actual fucking dumbass again. They put in another evil dictator, and ISIS, Al Qaeda happened, right? And then we left the Middle East for a little while. We didn't even leave. We just left Iraq, and then ISIS shows up. Yeah, because we created all that, and like people go like, we need to like show them, we need to bomb ISIS, we need to kill all these guys. Yeah, because it's like a cartoon. If you throw a bomb at somebody, it's all over. What people don't understand is they don't look into the facts that we've been doing that this whole time, and that's why I feel like, if you like Donald Trump because he says he's going to bomb ISIS, that's not really a good reason to say you like him, because we've already been doing that millions of times. We've given them all the bombs you can think of, drone strikes, everything. They're not gone yet, and they won't be gone until, I guess, as Donald Trump says, we figure out what's going on. And I don't understand what do you mean figure out what's going on. If you're running for president, I hope you already know what is going on. You shouldn't have to figure it out. I mean, I don't know. I found that kind of funny. Like, don't figure it out. You should know it. If you're gonna try and educate me and say I'm stupid, then educate me already. I could figure it out. You could figure it out. But if you haven't figured it out, don't act like you're smart, because then you're in the same boat as everybody else. You don't know what's going on. Ugh, it's kind of ironic, but it's how it's put. But again, Tomi Lahren, she just seems like a stupid lady who's trying to get publicity. And, a lot of people say that about Donald Trump. I actually don't think he's trying to get publicity. I think he's just believing what he says and running with it. And sometimes he does need to be quiet, and sometimes he doesn't. Because sometimes he says something that isn't fact, and then when you say something that isn't fact, but yet you have a massive following, people will believe it and run with it. But when you say stuff that is fact, and people still hate you for it, that's just life, I get that all the time. Millions of people get that all the time. Now, Donald Trump is not this crazy, evil psychopath, but he is, as I said, sometimes just needs to learn how to be quiet. Anyway, to Tomi Lahren, she just doesn't even know anything. I don't know if she knows anything. Like, the argument she was trying to make against Jesse Williams is either the dumbest thing I've ever heard, or just, she's just not educated. Like, and, she's bound to probably make another stupid comment, but she's like, white people, they were the ones freeing black people, but they were the ones who put them in slavery to begin with. You do know that. So that's number one with your argument is kind of stupid. It doesn't make any sense, because you're trying to say that, white people are perfect and us black people should have to fall in line. But yeah, and you say that you guys were freeing the white people were freeing black people, but you do know that they were the reason black people had to be freed. And when you say black people chose to be in slavery, how do you know that? Where has that ever been stated? I want you to post me the most specific evidence, not something that some random guy just said because he thinks he's right. And I hate when people say that, because it's like, yeah, they chose to be in slavery but then rebel because why? I don't know. Maybe they never wanted to be in slavery and some asshole made that up just to sound smart. I don't know. That's overthinking it, guys. Yeah, I don't know who made that up, and I don't know where it came from. But whoever said that is obviously just an asshole or is stupid. Probably just as stupid as Tomi Lahren and trying to make sense and paint everybody in as perfect human beings. Anyway, So, the number two thing about her argument is, why are you so offended by it? If he truly is saying actual things that have pointed out police brutality, why are you offended by it? You shouldn't be. If you're offended by him saying that the police are a racist towards black people, that the majority of police are racist towards black people, and if you get offended by that, I don't like to be that type of guy that says, well, if you're calling somebody else racist, then you're racist, because that's not true. It doesn't take you don't have to. That's just a stupid argument that a lot of people use. That they use it so that way you can't say anything back, because then they can say, oh yeah, see, I gotcha. But it's like, no, you didn't. You just sound like a moron. You're just basically saying takes one to know one, as if it takes a person that's racist to know. I don't know. That's why I don't like that argument, because you're just saying takes one to know one, but in an absurd, over the top way. Now, the lady is what I'll call her. Her name cannot be spoken out of my mouth, because stupid people just don't deserve their name in my mouth. I have to wash my mouth out. No, anyway, I get that. That might have been a little offensive to some of you, but I don't know. I mean, seriously, it's not really a joke. I'm kind of mean it, but oh well. No, the lady, she just doesn't understand things is the problem. She's one of those people that are always like, we gotta bomb ISIS as if we're not doing them. We gotta do all these things as if we're not doing them. She thinks she knows the answers to everything, but she has no clue. And that's my number one problem with Tomi Lahren. And I don't even. And this is why I don't watch The Blaze and stuff, is because of people like, what's his face? God, the guy who supported Ted Cruz. I can't even fucking remember. Glenn Beck. I can't stand this guy. I can't. Everything he says just sounds so fairy tale, as if you're saying it from like some sort of script of a movie. Like, God chose Ted Cruz to be president. I mean, if God chose Ted Cruz to be president, we must have like one shitty God. And the funny thing is, Ted Cruz didn't become president. Now what do you have to say? You can either say, God was wrong, which is kind of funny because I thought God could never be wrong, or you have to say that you were lying. Whatever one works. I mean, because if you say God was wrong, then honestly, I'm fine with that, because I don't believe in God not being wrong. I mean, the Bible literally states that he should have been wrong many, many, many times. But you know what? I'm not gonna go there. But I'm not atheist by any means. I just don't believe in our form of God, like Christianity or any other religious God, because I feel like those are just written by people who want to say things that they can't normally say, so they just wrote it down. Because the Bible is full of messed up stuff that couldn't even happen. That even if you believe in a magical being who can create the universe, it just can't happen. Like Noah's Ark, it just couldn't happen. It won't happen. It can't happen. It never. And that the Bible says that the world is only 6,000 years old. That's not even possible. So if you went to school, you would know that dinosaurs are 75 million years ago. It's so funny how people just believe that stuff, but yet they believe in the dinosaurs happening. How do you... Wait, you do know that then the world can't be 6,000 years old, right? Also, that means technically... it's just funny. But yeah, I just can't stand The Blaze. It's just one of my least favorite politics shows ever, because it's just so bad. Like, everything sounds so either stupid, like Tomi Lahren, she just doesn't know what she's talking about. When you listen to her argument the first time, you go, okay, she has a point. Maybe black people just are kind of crying about it too much. But then when you see the way she tries to counteract it, she's stupid. Like, she's like, oh, well, this guy was a 12-year-old kid. The police shot him, so what? Or she'll say, we need to bomb ISIS. Or she says stuff that's so stupid, and you go, well, I actually sympathize with minorities. I mean, if this is how most white people think, well then damn. Anyway, I'm Peter Sonic, and I'm out.